Okay, 14 out of 15. We are live. What's up, everybody? Got some videos on deck here that I want to check out. I was going to watch them alone. I wasn't going to go live. But now I was like, well, maybe you guys will want to watch these videos with me. So, I was thinking, hey, man, we could pull this up. Let me just see, I've got this noise thing up, and of course I put the speaker on the wrong side here. So give me a second. Let me see if I'm gonna have to take this down. I was trying to do something cool and different, but it turns out it's not that cool. But it's way different, it's just not that cool. Okay, speaker. Hold on here, speaker. One of these speakers is going to be my speaker. Okay, here we go.
The metaverse is here! It's like all the dystopian bad parts of the Matrix without the good stuff, like the bowls of gruel.
I don't remember.
Just the other day,
I don't remember any bowls of gruel in Matrix, but I guess there were, huh?
McDonald's filed a trademark for a restaurant in the metaverse that will actually deliver food to your home. Awesome! This is for everyone who thought buying food at McDonald's was too real. You go into a restaurant that pretends to be happy while exploiting its workers, killing the planet, and slowly killing its customers. You purchase a burger that pretends to be fresh after it sat in a refrigerator truck for the past 2 years, traveling around much of the globe, but rarely getting to see the tourist attractions. That burger pretends to be from the prime parts of the cow, even though it's mostly eyeballs and anuses, which was also the name of the least popular Epcot Center attraction ever. That burger can also legally have a certain amount of rat feces and human hair in it. That's right, our government will come after you if you say rat shit on primetime TV, but they have no problem with a reasonable amount of rat shit in your food. Can't be in an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond, but it can be in your food. The meat is dyed a fake color to try to make it look like meat. It's seasoned to try to make it taste like meat. And at least with the McRib, it's shaped like ribs to try to make you think it came from ribs. Its shape, flavor, smell, and color are all fake, like Kim Kardashian.
It's 420 Newfoundland. Cheers, everybody.
Well, I think Trump's shape is genuinely that of a plastic bag filled with lukewarm minestrone. Then all the food is coated in preservatives that somehow make them not grow moldy when left out for 6 years. Even microbial life is smart enough to avoid those foods. Humans are dumber than mold, apparently. And not just Steve Doocy, like all humans. So it's an easy argument to make that McDonald's and most fast food is not real food, but instead an abstraction of what food should look and taste like, even though it's largely inedible nothingness. But is that completely fake experience still too real for you? If so, have no fear. You will soon be able to go to McDonald's in the metaverse, a fake world where you can order your fake food covered in fake smells and flavors from workers being fake to you. Reality is dying.
Dave.
Fake is the new real.
Hey, Sean.
Disingenuous is the new happy. Antidepressants are the new Tic Tacs. It's great, but it gets even better. One of the trademarks was for virtual food and beverage products, including NFTs. Yes, they trademarked virtual food. I was under the impression McDonald's had been giving us virtual food for decades now. But no, that was considered the real stuff. Now they want to sell you actual virtual food. You can get explosive virtual diarrhea and digital diabetes too. They're offering NFTs as well, non-fungible tokens, meaning digital assets that you can prove you own the original of. So for example, McDonald's could sell you a digital image of a hamburger for $1,000 and you could prove to people that you were the sole owner of that digital hamburger. You know, for all the time someone comes up to you and says, I know you mentioned you own an image of a double Big Mac with cheese, but prove it. You know, all those people. They're the worst. You're like, can't you just take my word that this Warhol-esque cooked cow innards is technically mine? No, man. I think you're faking your virtual ownership of a pretend hamburger in the digital realm. McDonald's is not the only company doing this. Panera Bread filed for a trademark for Paneraverse. Yep, the cafe most people just stop in to pretend they're ordering something so they can use the shitter and the Wi-Fi. That place feared they had to trademark Paneraverse because they thought someone was going to pilfer that genius phrase right out from under them. And when it comes to profiting off the virtual world, it's not only fast food restaurants. The Associated Press recently offered an NFT of their video of a boat filled with desperate migrants in the Mediterranean trying to survive. That's right. For the low, low price of $5,000, you can prove to others that you own the original video of starving, hopeless humans trying to survive the destruction the West has brought down upon them.
What?
For just $50 more, we'll send you one of the migrant children to serve as your butler or your end table. It's really up to you. Unfortunately, the AP did cancel the sale of the migrant boat NFT after the backlash. Not sure what people had a problem with. Next, some snowflakes are going to say, I shouldn't sell those images of me shot-putting baby penguins. Look, not everything in the metaverse needs to be a dystopian hellhole. But when everything is ruled by profit over people, then you can bet that each advancement humankind makes will be designed for profit, not health or sustainability. We need a revolution of the mind, of design, of engineering, of economics. And we need it, checks watch, 10 years ago. Or maybe you disagree. Maybe you think the metaverse is the cat's pajamas, where cats actually wear pajamas. Let me know what you think by leaving a comment. That's all for now, but seeing as I'm the most censored comedian in America, if you want...
Huh. Jackson Hinkle got banned for the biolab.
Divulges a number of U.S.-funded biolabs in Ukraine. The U.S. insists 46 peaceful facilities were all about public health and safety, just like the Wuhan Lab of Virology.
So this is why Jackson
Many
got
of you might
banned.
remember I and Haas of the Infrared Show were banned from Twitch, which is another live streaming platform. Just like maybe a month, 2 months ago, we were banned because of our coverage on the Ukraine war. Now, Haas was banned, and it was very, very, very bad for him because, for example, most of my views and most of my viewers have always watched me on YouTube. That's always been my primary platform.
That's where you make your
for
money.
a while, I'd have like 400 to 700 people that watch me on YouTube, concurrent live stream viewers, and on Twitch, I'd get like 40, 50, maybe 100, maybe 200, right? But it was usually low numbers, right? So when I got banned, I was like, that sucks, but fortunately, I still have my largest platform. For Haas, when he got banned, Haas of the Infrared Show over his Ukraine coverage, that was like his bread and butter. Like when I was getting like 700 views on YouTube, he was getting 800 to 1,000
Jackson's
on
always on
Twitch.
fire.
So when he got banned, it was really hard. We got banned because of things that we were saying. Things like that there's Ukrainian biolabs that the U.S. has been funding, okay? This is an undeniable fact. This is a real thing. I mean, we've seen Victoria Nuland even admit this. And now, why did they come after us? Those of you who remember this all going down, know that there was a large political campaign to target us and to actually get us removed from Twitch. Okay, it was launched by a group called the Tech Transparency Project, whose
Assholes.
founder and director happens to
Little
be
dicks.
what was her?
Little
She's
dick.
an anthropologist, and we
Little
all
dick.
know anthropologists. She's like an anthropology.
She's a little
major.
dick.
Anthropologists are all feds. They're all CIA.
She's got a little dick.
Which is interesting. It's just like so glaringly obvious. And Tech Transparency Project did this big report on me and Haas about how awful we are and how we're spewing Putin propaganda. And the Tech Transparency Project wanted this to result in us getting banned from Twitch. Okay? Now, who is the Tech Transparency Project? If you don't know, again, their founder, their director is Katie Paul. She has an MA in anthropology at George Washington University. So she's quite literally like the most like quintessential Fed on the planet. Went to George Washington, has an MA in anthropology, blah 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 blah. Yes, she fits the role. Not to mention that the Tech Transparency Project is funded by none other than George Soros's Open Societies Foundation, the Bohemian Foundation, and the Omidyar Network. Okay, so this is who
I went down to the Bohemian Rhapsody.
Gotta love it.
Let me tell you something.
The openness of being
they were
funded
saying Mamma Mia, Mamma Mia, Figaro all night.
And they did this big report on
Magnifico.
us, saying like, oh, you know, Amazon owned Twitch spreading Russian misinformation on Ukraine.
You guys ready for
they did this big report
time?
on us. There's Haas saying they were going after him for saying Vladimir Putin is good. Then they went after me as well. They said the Twitch channel Jackson Hinkle TV, which had about 4,200 followers, offered several streams with the title Putin 71% approval. In one of them, on March 20th, the host spread a false conspiracy theory that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had fled Ukraine and produced a video making it appear that he was still in the country. Quote, Zelensky's clown show is being exposed, ... thanks to the advent of modern technology, the host said. Quote, I'm not saying he's in Poland, but if you're being accused of not being in Kiev, why would you film a video in front of a green screen and try to pass it off as a real video? I just love the hypocrisy in that paragraph. It's like they said that I claimed this, and then in the next sentence, it's me saying, I'm not saying he's in Poland, but this is a little bit sus. On his channel, Jackson Hinkle TV... On his channel, Jackson Hinkle TV suggested that viewers check out other streamers, including Infrared Show. And there I am, right on the George Soros-funded website. Like Infrared Show, Jackson Hinkle TV offered subscriptions and links to a sister YouTube channel. Many of these conspiracy-spewing streamers operate on multiple platforms, giving them extra reach and providing backup in case one service shuts them down. Biolabs and crisis actors. So they were saying that we were talking about biolabs, and that these were
top of the hour. It's time to
biolabs,
smoke. Cheers, everybody.
And this was
no law regarding cannabis.
right-wing
Cannabis
Russian
isn't business for all.
conspiracy theory that we were talking about this. Okay,
You're
they did a
so
whole
funny.
report
That's
on
a
us.
good one.
They
Knee
got a
slaps.
stand over this. Whatever. Fuck you. Well, now we not only have Victoria Nuland, who has admitted this, current Undersecretary of State, by the way. Take a listen.
Ukraine has biological research facilities, which, in fact, we are now quite concerned Russian forces may be seeking to gain control of. So we are working with the Ukrainians on how they can prevent any of those research materials from falling into the hands of Russian forces should they approach. Right?
So there's current Undersecretary of State in the Biden administration, Victoria Nuland, admitting that there's Ukrainian biolabs with U.S. funded and ran. We also have the Center for Threat Reduction Program Director Robert Pope, who oversaw the 30-plus year former Soviet program, or I guess, let me rephrase that. He oversaw the program, which ran for 30 years and inherited Soviet biolabs into Ukraine. The U.S. funded these through the CTRP, which was funded by the DoD. CTRP is the Center for Threat Reduction Program. And he himself said, scientists being scientists, it wouldn't surprise me if some of the pathogens stored in these biolabs are all the way back, dating back to the Soviet bioweapons program, okay? So these are his words, admitting that there's these biolabs. We also, Tulsi Gabbard did a video on this showing that there's countless, pieces of evidence from the DoD funding documents that show that we were funding the CTRP, we were funding these biolabs in Ukraine. Well, now we've known that there was at least 26.
Hey, Mirror, what's up?
There was more than 26, but at least 26 of these biolabs in Ukraine that we were funding and we were operating. Well, now we have some new information out there, which is very, very interesting.
Hey, Mirror, who are you? How did you find my show? Your name is a reference to a racist term that's used to refer to cannabis. I'm going to block you for having that name on my live stream. the word marijuana is racist. I don't care the format you choose to use, whether you came in here to troll me and the live chat, or that's just a stupid racist name that you selected. Now you know, and if you want to come back in the show again, you'll change that stupid racist name. You have anything you want to say before I block you, since you haven't answered me yet? Mirror? Mirror, you don't have long to respond. I'm about to block you. You come back with another name. I have a feeling I know who you are anyway. Yeah. Cheers, my brother. Right back at you, dude. Bye-bye.
Again, very interesting because I was literally banned for saying this, but take a look. Pentagon divulges a number of U.S.-funded biolabs in Ukraine. The U.S. insists 46 peaceful facilities were all about public health and safety, just like the Wuhan Lab of Virology. The U.S. government has supported 46 facilities in Ukraine over the past 20 years, but as part of a peaceful public health project rather than to develop biological weapons, the Pentagon said on Thursday. The U.S. military accused Russia and China of spreading disinformation and sowing mistrust about its effort to rid the world of weapons of mass destruction. So, the Pentagon, who said that Russia and China was spewing disinformation for even alleging that these biolabs exist, is now saying, okay, they did exist, and there was more than 20, there was actually 46 of
22
them, but you're still spewing misinformation by saying we're trying to, do bioweapon technology there. This is the first time the U.S. Department of Defense disclosed the exact number of facilities its government has supported in Ukraine in a document titled Fact Sheet on WMD Threat Reduction Efforts. According to the Pentagon, the U.S. has worked collaboratively to improve Ukraine's biological safety, security, and disease surveillance for both human and animal health by providing support to 46 peaceful Ukrainian laboratories, health facilities, and disease diagnostic sites over the last 2 decades. These programs have focused on improving public health and agricultural safety measures at the nexus of non-proliferation. The work of these biolabs was often conducted in partnership with bodies like the World Health Organization and World Organization for Animal Health, and was consistent with international best practices and norms in publishing research results, partnering with international colleagues and multilateral organizations, and widely distributing their research and public health findings. Okay? Well, here you go.
He's almost
right
done. He's got 3 minutes
in
left.
the DoD documents. This is literally defense.gov news releases, okay? You can find this on their website. Literally saying that they provided support to 46 peaceful Ukrainian laboratories, health facilities, and disease diagnostic sites over the last 2 decades. Now, we know they've dumped a ton of money into this. The U.S. has poured more than $224 million into biological research in Ukraine between 2005 and 2022. Western pharmaceutical giants, nonprofits, and even the U.S. Democratic Party were involved in the scheme. Okay, and we also know Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, invested $500,000 through his investment firm Rosemont Seneca into Metabiota, which was doing this dangerous pathogen research on zoonotic diseases in level 3 high security biolabs in Ukraine. All right, they forget to mention that part when they talk about it on the Defense Department website, but it is the truth. Okay, so anyways, I tweeted this out when I saw this because David Miller tweeted out, I see the Pentagon has now admitted it ran 46 biolabs in Ukraine handling dangerous pathogens, not Russian propaganda after all. I said, hey, Twitch and Twitch support, will you unban me considering that the Pentagon and the current Undersecretary of State Victoria Nuland have now both admitted that the U.S. ran biolabs in Ukraine? You dubbed me a harmful misinformation actor. I kid you not. That's the email they sent me. They said you're a harmful misinformation actor.
Misinformant.
Because I stated this on your platform. And lo and behold, I got no response, but I'm not surprised. You see, the attacks that we receive here on this channel are not because we're wrong. not because we're spewing
This video of the Jackson will be over
but
at 4:20.
because-
I mean at 7:10. My bad.
the things that we say, the statements we put out, and the news that we cover is so damning for those in power, especially when we amass an audience the size we currently have and as we continue to grow, that they have no other option but to take us down, to cut off our sources of income. That's what we saw this week. I was banned from PayPal and Venmo this week, and make it unviable, unviable, whatever the word is, to continue doing the reporting that we do. Because surely no one in the mainstream press is going to be saying anything like we do here on this channel. Thanks for watching that episode of The Dive. If you'd like to support...
I like that Jackson says we, but he does have a lot of guests on. Okay, we've got a minute and a half. A minute and a half before 7:10, exactly. Using the clock. Clocky time. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. My eyes so dry from smoking? Really? Biden can't finish sentences on Jimmy Kimmel. Okay.
So Joe Biden, my favorite of the demented presidents, went on Jimmy Kimmel, and my favorite of the late night hosts, because he was nice enough to let me be on his show once. And here's what Joe Biden had to say.
No, I'm serious.
There's something to that. Yeah.
No, but I'm serious. You turn on the TV, look at the ads. When's the last time you saw biracial couples on TV? When's the last time you saw the way, people are selling products, they do ads to sell products, and they sell products and people, they appeal to people. This generation is going to change everything. We just got to make sure we don't give up. There's an ability for us to do everything from increase the access to
Perfect
education,
timing here.
healthcare. Look what we did in healthcare.
Cheers.
All the
Well, that none of those were a sentence, I don't think. Wait, you want to hear it again? Let's listen.
No, I'm serious.
There's something to that.
No, but I'm serious. You turn on the TV, look at the ads. When's the last time you saw biracial couples on TV? When's the last time you...
Is he saying when was the last time? I see those commercials all the time.
No, that's what he's saying, but he's saying it, with a brain impediment. But that's what he is kind of saying.
Oh, he's saying you're seeing that now? That's how things have changed?
You know how you probably just, he's saying it totally wrong, but...
Yeah, okay.
The way, people are selling products, they do ads to sell products. And they sell products when they appeal to people. This generation is going to...
What, did he just... And, if you had two, then you had two more things, then you'll have four. And if you take two away, then you'll have just two left.
He said they sell ads and do products.
The way, people are selling products, they do ads to sell products. And they sell products when they appeal to people. This generation is going to change everything.
What?
We just got to make sure.
They do ads to sell products, and then they sell products that appeal to people.
And they put all the races.
The way Joe Biden says it doesn't make any sense. But I know what Joe Biden was trying to say. What he's trying to say is, if you look at commercials today, you'll see there's a lot of interracial couples in all the commercials. It's like every single commercial. He goes, they do that because that's what they feel like people are attracted to. That's what people will buy. They'll buy from companies that have interracial couples in their ads. That's what Joe Biden is trying to say. Now, he's not doing a good job of saying it. And I think that Kurt Metzger understands what Joe Biden is trying to say. But even at the second point, I think they kind of lost track of what Joe Biden was trying to say. And I know what he's trying to say. Does that make me smarter than Jimmy Dore and Kurt Metzger? Because I know what Joe Biden's trying to say there. He's trying to say that companies advertise to people who appreciate the fact that they're putting interracial couples in their commercials.
Black-eyed people.
And Jackson Hinkle.
And transgenders.
Whoa, does that make me smarter than Jimmy Dore, Jackson Hinkle, and Kurt Metzger combined? all three of them. I just took all three of them on in one. On gas. Do you think it's going to go higher? Yeah, I know. We watched this guy this morning, Tula. Jimmy Dore interviewed. His name is Peter Schiff. You can watch that show from this morning. Peter Schiff says inflation's never going to stop now. He says there was a time when it would have stopped, but he says now it's not going to stop. Nothing is going to stop it. So it's just going to keep getting higher and higher and higher. More expensive, more expensive, more expensive. The temperature is going to keep getting hotter. The storms are going to get bigger. You know, there's going to be more rain. There's going to be more drought. There's going to be more floods.
Transgengas and put the.
But AOC says he's doing a very good job, and she'll consider him in 2024.
Okay, let's go to the next video. Here's another one. Malcolm sent me 2 videos.
No
so,
question
So there's
about
a
it.
lot of major things we've done, but what we haven't done is we haven't been able to communicate it in a way that is. Let me say another way.
He can't even communicate it now.
What?
I didn't know that was the first part.
The irony
What did
of
he
that-
just say?
Get it in a way, huh?
I don't even know what he
that
just
we haven't
said.
been able to communicate it. Let me say it a different way. Oh my God! The irony of that moment. Hey, you guys having a communication problem? Yeah. Why don't you go clear it up? Okay.
Does his hair look thicker now?
How do I say it? How do I say it? I'm sure they put the spray stuff in. So
Oh,
let-
it's closer to Kyle's wig. That's
No
so,
question
So there's
about
a
it.
lot of major things we've done, but what we haven't done is we haven't been able to communicate it in a way that
Even Joe Biden's hair plugs are failing. Those, I thought they were going to last forever, but look at that. He's like losing those too. You know, he was totally bald back in the 70s already.
is. Let me say another way.
Well, see, that's kind of perfect. Yeah,
Well,
we haven't been able to communicate
But
it.
look how the press has changed.
Oh, Jimmy called
Look
me.
how the press has
It
changed.
has changed. Oh, listen, I get it.
I know you overstand it.
So there's a late night comedian guy who used to host a show with the Juggies on it,
Man show.
interviewing having to
Hey, it's quarter of the hour. It's
hold
time to
his
smoke.
the most powerful man in
Cheers.
the world theoretically tried to baby him through an interview. That's what he's doing. He's talking to him like you would interview a 6-year-old who just won a cookie contest.
What's
or
your
something.
mommy and daddy have to say about
That's how
that,
he's talking.
JoJo?
Oh, that makes sense. Sure.
Cheers.
He's talking to him like a moron.
This is like one of Jimmy's. Remember, he used to those bits with kids all the time.
Yes,
He just
that's what this
switched
is.
into kid mode. Yeah.
At the beginning of this interview, too, Jimmy comes out and he's like, you know, people are worried I'm not going to ask you any difficult questions, so I'm going to hit you with some tough ones tonight. He actually said that.
Yeah, like who's the president? Because that's what they always ask people who have dementia. Who's the president?
Yeah.
And I bet he would say, you know, I never knew that. I never thought about that stuff. That's what he would
It's
say.
Michelle Obama, of course.
Michelle Obama.
Let's listen to this again.
No
so,
question
So there's
about
a
it.
lot of major things we've done, but what we haven't done is we haven't been able to communicate it in a way that is. Let me say another way.
Well, see, that's kind of perfect. Yeah,
Well-
we haven't been able to communicate.
So Jimmy Kimmel catches it, and then he does like you would do to a mental patient. See, that's perfect. That's Iris. You weren't able to communicate it. See, he's like I've never.
You got married? Congratulations.
Look how the press has
That's great.
changed. Look how the press has
It
changed.
has changed. Oh, listen, I get it.
I know you,
Hey,
you understand it.
Yeah.
You don't just
Don't
understand,
have
you
kids.
understand
Thomas,
But
don't
here's the
have
deal.
kids.
it. One of the things is that it's very
Unless both
difficult
of you already
now
have kids.
to have
Don't have any more.
Even with notable exceptions, even the really good reporters, they have to get the number of clicks on nightly news.
That's the
So
leader
instead
of the
of
free
asking a
world, man.
question,
Don't
oh
have
my
kids. It's
goodness,
not
it
looking
just-
good
everything gets
for
gets
children in the future.
sensationalized in ways that. But I'm convinced we can get through this. We have to.
Good,
get through
Tommy.
it. And one of the things, look,
I'm
Good
gonna
choice,
take a
my
break, And then
friend.
we'll talk a little bit more.
I don't
Good
know.
choice.
I'm sorry, we have some of those commercials.
Again, I don't
Why did they
think.
do this?
Again, I don't think he finished the sentence. I don't think any one of those things were a complete sentence. None of them. And then Jimmy Kimmel's like, okay, look, we'll be We got it. Watch what he said.
We have some biracial commercials we need to show.
You got
It's
some
tied. You
biracial-
can tie. You can untie.
I mean, honestly, it's like
Tommy. You
if
can
as
reverse
if
it.
He's yeah. Well, that's how you talk to someone who's demented. That's how you treat them with kid gloves, and you're not having a real conversation. Did anyone think that helped Joe Biden's image to have him go on Jimmy Kimmel?
I'd like to watch the whole thing
Did this news
uninterrupted.
get a lot of clicks?
Right?
I'd like to see it.
God,
And
that was
he's
hard
just-
to watch.
Like,
and he's
you
just
know,
lucky
fluid.
that they tape that now at like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, unlike they used to when I did the show. They would do it in
Late night.
live, so you would go on at night.
What do you think is cut from it? Anything like? Because I mean, they didn't have a lot to work with clearly for the segment. Like,
They sat down with him for 23 minutes. I was shocked. You'd think if you're gonna have Joe Biden on, you'll do like 2-minute clips or something. They had him on for 23 minutes.
Oh shit, 23 minutes.
Like that's a recipe for disaster. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, well, we just saw the disaster. We just saw it happen.
So
was
that's all
probably
you got
20
out of
minutes in.
23 minutes?
Wow. Hey, we're doing stand-up comedy
hey,
in Los
hey.
Angeles on June 11th.
So he was on there for 23 minutes, and that's all the material they had was enough for a 7-minute segment? Huh. Were they talking to him the whole time? Was he making sense all the other times? Jackson? Why didn't you say that? You know, and why not say that? If that's the truth. You know, the three of you, I hadn't seen it. Have any of you guys seen that interview? We can't watch it, probably, right? Jimmy Kimmel, it's probably HBO or some shit. I don't know. Let me see. I'll probably get in trouble for that shit. Jimmy Kimmel, Joe Biden interview. 23 minutes. And it's, who is it? It's Jimmy Kimmel Live. I don't know if I'll get copyright trouble for this, guys. But we could play it like super duper fast.
Special guest tonight is to aviator sunglasses what Tom Cruise is to aviator sunglasses. I'm proud to say I voted for him dozens of times. He is the reason we all got a cavity search tonight. Please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
It is 420. It is time to smoke. Happy 420, everybody. No law regarding cannabis. Cannabis isms for all. Cheers, everybody. Smoke along.
Good to be here, man.
The wonderful First Lady is here tonight. Hello. How nice that the First Lady came along.
Oh, she did. She just made the commencement speech at Los Angeles Community College? Yes. By the way, I'm Joe Biden's husband. She's right there.
It's wonderful to have you here.
Good to be back. I thought maybe you want me to just stand fuck the whole time.
You know, they're very concerned that I might not ask you serious questions, so I don't want to...
Everybody has serious questions.
Yeah, right. I don't want to upset them at all. Do you mind if I ask you some serious questions? Because this is, unfortunately...
I never mind having a conversation with someone really smart.
Well, Guillermo, maybe you need to take over. We were here in September of 2019, and one of the things we talked about at length was gun violence, and you said that we need to do something about gun violence, particularly when it comes to our schools. And here we are, a couple years later. We're halfway through this year already. There have been, 27 shootings at schools? I guess, just to get into it, why haven't we done anything about this?
Well, I think a lot of it's intimidation by the NRA. And, this is not your father's Republican Party. This is a magnificent, a very different Republican Party. And so you find people who are worried, I believe, that if they vote for rational gun policy...
So, like my mom, Joe Biden blames the Republican Party for school shootings. Did you hear that? It's very common. It's very common. It's Republicans, man. Kids are getting shot in schools because of Republicans, man. It's Republicans' fault. If Democrats had their way, there wouldn't be any rifles at all. There wouldn't be any guns in this country at all. There wouldn't be any handguns. And that would solve that problem. Yeah, that would solve that one problem for them. But it wouldn't solve the problem of when a corrupt government or corrupt mob comes to your home and tries to fucking kill you. You know?
They're going to be primary, and they're going to lose in a hard right
They are
Republican primary.
Is that your
definitely
take when you speak to
conflicting
these guys and
issues
women
there.
behind the scenes that is there any honesty? Do they acknowledge that they would like to do something?
Well, I think many of them do. I get in trouble for saying this, but I get on. We have very different views on a lot of things, but I've always had a straight relationship with the majority, with the Republican leader, Mitch McConnell. He's a guy that when he says something, he means it. I disagree with a lot of what he says, but he means it. There are a number of
Like when he said we can't confirm a Supreme Court justice with a year left?
So, Joe Biden's very proud of his relationship with Mitch McConnell. That would drive my mom crazy. she heard that.
Mitch McConnell. You know, he's a guy that when he says something, he means it. I just very different views on a lot of things, but I've always had a straight relationship with the majority, with the Republican leader, Mitch McConnell. You know, but I've always had a straight relationship with the majority, with the Republican leader, Mitch McConnell. You know, he's a guy. But I've always had a straight relationship with the majority, with the Republican leader, Mitch McConnell. You know, but I've always had a straight relationship with the majority, with the Republican leader, Mitch McConnell. You know, he's a guy that when he says something, he means it. I disagree with a lot of what he says, but he means it. There are a number of,
Like when he said we can't.
Joe Biden, you are a fucking piece of shit. You are a complete piece of human garbage. And if my mother heard you say that, she would fucking hate you. And I'm not going to say it loud enough so she can hear it.
Justice with a year left, and then said the opposite.
well, no, what he did. I mean, look, he's a leader of a party that's moved very hard right, and so in order to get anything done, he has a different problem than he did early on before Trump became president.
It seems like maybe the party has moved hard right, but I don't know that the people have moved hard right, because people overwhelmingly believe we should have serious background checks. They overwhelmingly.
Look, so you gotta remember, the last time we did something serious about guns was when I passed the assault weapons ban. I was the guy that sponsored that, got it passed, limiting the number of bullets to be in a magazine, whole background checks, a whole range of things, and we passed. And violent crime and gun crime dropped off. But I could only get it passed for 10 years. It had to be reauthorized. And when the first Bush administration came along, they didn't reauthorize. We didn't have the votes. And so what happened was, all of a sudden, it came back. You could own assault weapons again. And guess what? Crime went up significantly, 3 times. I mean, so there is a direct correlation between the kinds of weapons that can be had. Look, I met with every single family member of all those kids who were killed and the teachers killed out down in Uvalde, Texas. And they stayed with me for almost 4 hours. Over 200 of them, meaning family and extended family. And the stories they told, and the pain you could see on their faces, it just made you, it leaves such a...
Shouldn't we demand that every senator in the United States sit with those families?
Well, the answer is, I think we should make a demand. Here's what has to happen. All of you folks, and I hope, and I'm not being facetious when I say this, I hope the Republicans are as well. We've got to make sure that this becomes a voting issue. It's got to be one of those issues where you decide your position on the issue of senator or the candidate for House or Senate on what we're going to do on this with assault weapons and how maybe they'll have 300 rounds in a magazine. And I mean, what you say on those things is going to determine how I'm going to vote for you. It should be one of those issues.
You're right. It is our fault that people in the House and Congress can take responsibility for it, but it is our fault because we need to stop this. We need to do it.
Well, we did
I got to say this. For as fast as we've got it, I understand every word. This is double speed, guys. He must be speaking very slowly. But he's making total sense about what he wants to talk about. And I think it's sad that Kurt, Jimmy, and Jackson, you know, Jackson said at the beginning, he said at the very end, he's like, well, they talked to him for 23 minutes. Hey, Jackson, I appreciate you saying that. That's cool that you said that. You know what else you should have said? How well did he speak during those most of those 23 minutes that you guys only had 1 minute of material to cover on a 7-minute segment? You know, it's not helping your case when someone like me has to come up behind you with a dustpan and sweep up the, you know, what you just said.
and it expired in 2004.
Can't you issue an executive order? Trump passed
The
those out.
fragments of what you just said.
Something that could happen.
Well, I have issued executive orders within the power of the presidency to be able to deal with these, everything having to do with guns, gun ownership, whether or not you happen to have a waiting, all the things are within my power. But what I don't want to do, and I'm not being facetious, I don't want to emulate Trump's abuse of the Constitution and constitutional authority. And so, I mean, not to say, because I also get asked, look, the Republicans don't play it square, why do you play it square?
Yep.
Well, guess what? If we do the same thing they do, our democracy will literally be in jeopardy. Well, I mean, not a joke.
And I understand that argument, but also it's like you're playing Monopoly with somebody who, you know, won't pass go and won't follow any of the rules, and how you ever make any progress if they're not following the rules.
Well, send them to jail, you know.
Directly to jail. The president is with us. Joseph Biden will be right back. We're back with President Biden, and the First Lady is with us too, and you're in Hollywood.
And my granddaughter.
And your granddaughter is here, the family is here.
And the fiance.
It's easier to understand this fast. You're funny.
Happy birthday, baby.
Does somebody have to like remind you of all that stuff, all this craziness going on?
No. My dad used to have an expression. Family's the beginning, the middle, and the end.
I think a lot of Democrats are frustrated because, you know, we got out and voted. We won the House, the Senate, the White House, obviously, and still we have made very little progress as far as I'm concerned when it comes to guns, obviously, reproductive rights, voting rights, climate change. All these things, in some ways, we've moved backwards.
Well, in climate change, we've actually made some real moves. I mean, we have 1 in 7 of all the changes that have taken place in terms of solar, wind, and wind pumps and pumps and like have occurred in the last 18 months. We've moved, and there's an opportunity with the process we have dealing with energy to be able to gradually move more rapidly than we have been to alternatives. For example, electric vehicles. Jimmy, when I got elected, I've pushed electric vehicles for the last, I don't know, God knows how long. Well, I had a conversation with the chairman of the board of General Motors, Mary Berry, and she was suing California, remember, and because your standard was too high.
Right.
Well, guess what? We had a conversation. I got a call from her about 4 days later. She dropped the suit and committed she's going to go all electric in the entire General Motors line, and by 2035, by 2030, 50%. No, but it really is. And then Ford came along and did the same thing. So we're in a path, and what is the successor to Chrysler doing the same thing. We're moving in directions that are being slow. Look, we won. I got 81 million votes, more than anybody's ever got. And thank you for those who helped me. But But what's happened to me is, we still only ended up with 50 senators, which means that we have 50 presidents.
And two of them are kind of iffy, I think, at
Well,
best.
here's the thing that's interesting. One of the things that's causing problems is that people think it's the Democratic Party that's so divided. And the problem is we have 48 out of 50 senators vote with me 95% of the time, more than any president's gotten that kind of support from their constituency. But we only have 50. And you can't get even 2, 3, 4 Republicans to vote. Look what's happening now with regard to everything from the way they talk about this potential decision from the Supreme Court. I mean, it's awful.
What do we do about that? I mean, what do we do? What do you say to Joe Manchin, Kristen Sinema? What do you say to them when you get them on the telephone?
Well, what I say to them is, and by the way, they agree on a lot of these proposals relating to everything from choice all the way to.
I would hope so.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's not like they are there 80% of the time. The place where they're not there is Joe's not there on a lot of things having to do with the climate and the environment because he comes from coal country and he has a different view. And Kristen is not always there in terms of the tax policies. Look, here's where we are. We have the fastest growing economy in the world. We have 8.6 million new jobs just since I got in office. Unemployment rate's down to 3.6%. We reduced the deficit last year by $320 billion. This year, we're going to reduce it by $1.7 trillion.
Right.
And so we're the strongest economy, and that's allowed us at least to stay on top of and a little bit ahead of what's happening around the world. Second thing is, look, inflation is the bane of our existence. Inflation is mostly in food and in gasoline at the pump.
That's what kills you, because it's a little billboard telling everyone how expensive everything is. If Donald Trump leaves one of those Sharpies over for you, you can maybe change the price on that,
We could. But here's the deal. My dad used to say every family is a little bit of breathing room. If you take and look at all the costs that a family has on a monthly basis, it also includes healthcare, prescription drugs, childcare, all those things. When I'm proposing and I think we can get it done, I'm proposing that we in fact reduce the cost of those things. Why should anybody in the audience know anybody who has to take insulin every month because they have type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes? Well, guess what? They're charging as high as $1,000 a month in some places, average $647 a month on average. Well, if I pass what I want to get done, which we can do, we can do it relatively easy, it's not going to cost more than $35 a month. It costs these companies. No, I'm not. We get acknowledge our friends on Fox and say,
But he's not going to pass it. They all clap. He's not going to pass it.
So charging $35 gives them, a significant profit. They don't need, for example, our oil companies. Oil companies, instead of everybody says, well, Biden won't let them drill. They have 9,000 drilling sites that they already own that are there. They're not doing it. You know why? Because they make more money not drilling and buying back their own stock.
It's all screwed up. No, that's the thing.
Well, it is screwed up, but we are only a few votes away from being able to straighten it out. You have to get the message across in a way that is understandable to people like the folks in my family we grew up. Tell people just what the facts are. And the facts are that this isn't anything about, so this is about building the economy. When I ran, I said, I want to build a new economy. No more trickle down.
Big
From the bottom up to the middle
down
out.
to
Because when the middle does well,
21.9.
everybody does well. The wealthy do very, very well. The idea, there are 54 major corporations in America, made $40 billion last year and don't pay a penny in taxes. Not a penny. How many think the tax code is fair anywhere along the line here? No, I'm not being facetious now. I'm being deadly earnest. They don't pay a penny. So if we had a minimum tax of 15%, just on this year, minimum 15, it doesn't hurt them at all. They make a lot of money still, and we can raise a lot of money to make sure that child care doesn't cost you $1,400 a month.
But this all makes perfect sense. And the fact that this makes sense is why it doesn't make sense, and why it seems so crazy, and that we have so many problems, and that maybe just that Americans aren't as knowledgeable as they should be. Or maybe there's a Death Star pumping false information into our brains.
Right?
Look, I've lost half my viewers showing you guys this clip, but I think I make a very good point here where I say Joe Biden is making perfect sense. I might not agree with anything that he says, but he doesn't seem incoherent. If he stumbled a couple times during a 23-minute interview, he's how old is he? Okay, I mean, it's not really news to me, Jimmy Jackson. Kurt. I get you. I get you, Kurt. I got you, motherfucker. My lawn looks fucking good. What? I want to go out there and look at the lawn. I want to go do gardening. It's doing so nice, man. Everything's looking so good. Holy shit. Wait till people see what I did back here. It was so horrible. When I planted those plants and put all the cedar chips are back. I moved, my mom doesn't realize this, but I moved almost all the chips away from the side of the house so it can be painted. It's a lot of work, man, with the rake. There's like a foot of cedar chips up against the house, all the way around the house. I've been working my way all the way around. So our painter can come in and start painting the house. It's going to be crazy to see the house that color. I hope she likes it, man. It's going to be like white. She's going to paint the house like white. Dude, I got so many pictures. Oh my God, I'm so hot. I'm so hot right now. I'm really hot. That really wasn't him. It wasn't him. Hold on. What if it sounds like he's... If you played him backwards. No, it's him. Look at him pointing his finger. Where the hell did it go? Why isn't he on the screen anymore? Isn't that weird? Does it have pause pressed?
Or maybe it's
Dude, what the fuck, dude? Oh, he's tiny right there. It's right there. Look at him pointing his finger, bro. He's so rude. Point his finger right in his face. He's such a rude, fucking old, crotchety fucking piece of shit. Look at that. Look at that. Let's go full screen with that. What a fucking piece of garbage. You don't point. You're supposed to be taught that when you're a kid. You know, you don't point at people. It's rude.
It's always been this way. I mean, here in LA, a small fraction of people voted in the primary yesterday, and then everybody wants to complain about everything, and it's enough already. And I think you need to start yelling at people. Is really what I think.
Well, here's what I think. Look, think about this. Look what impact the pandemic has had on people. It has had enormous impact, negative impact. Think of just your kids. How many of them got to go to a prom? How many had a graduation that got celebrated? How much has changed in terms of the relationships between people and how they interact with one another? I mean, so much has changed. And we need, Vivek Murthy, the Surgeon General, talks about the need for significant mental health proposals relating to people who are feeling, not knowing where they're going, not knowing how to respond, not knowing how to act. And so there's a lot we can do. But the bottom line is, I think that we've
Medicare
seen
for all
such
would
a
be
radical
nice.
shift in one
Fucking
party,
idiot.
and the ability of that party to that minority of the MAGA folks.
It's like we're living in two
control.
countries at once.
Yeah, and
it's
so,
like you can be.
But I've never been more optimistic in my life. So I'll tell you why.
Why are you so optimistic? It makes no sense.
No, it does. Look at the kids. Look at the young people. Best educated, least prejudiced, most giving generation in American history. Turn on the television. No, I'm serious. No, I'm serious. You turn on the TV. Look at the ads. When's the last time you saw biracial couples on TV? When's the last time you saw the way? I mean, people are selling products. They do ads to sell products, and they sell products when they appeal to people. This generation is going to change everything. We just got to make sure.
You know, who's the person who says to Joe Biden, we can't do Medicare for all? Who's that person? That's the person I want to talk to. You know? It'll answer so many of these issues. It's so stupid. Bitcoin's at 22,000, guys, right now. You can own an entire Bitcoin for $22,000. If it goes up to 44, then you make 100% on your investment as soon as Bitcoin hits 44. 100% return on your investment. That's a pretty good investment. Who's buying $22,000 Bitcoin? That's the question. Who's doing it? Who's buying it? Who's doing it? Not me. Play Biden backwards, it don't make sense. There's 6 minutes left of him. Bitcoin is a tax hazard from hell. James Lucid.
Don't give up. There's an ability for us to do everything from increase the access to education, healthcare. Look what we did in healthcare. All the talk about it. I was able to reduce people's bills about $400 a month.
It has changed people's lives for the better.
No,
Someone
so
bought
there are a lot
a
of major things
shipload.
we've done. But what we haven't done is we haven't been able to communicate it in a way that is, let me say another way.
Well, see, that's kind of perfect. Yeah,
Well,
we've been able to communicate.
But look how the press has changed. Look how the press has
It has changed. Oh, listen, I get it.
know you overstand it. You don't just understand it, you overstand it. But here's the deal. One of the things is that it's very difficult now to have even with notable exceptions, even the really good reporters, they have to get the number of clicks on.
Still giant upside down head and shoulders with no reaction from it, guys. Still waiting for that to happen. It's going down right now, 21.9.
On nightly news. So instead of asking the question, anyway, it just everything gets sensationalized in ways that, but I'm convinced we can get through this. We have to get through it. And one of the things, look,
I'm going to take a break, and then we'll talk a little bit more.
I don't
if you
blame
mind.
you.
I'm sorry. We have some of those commercials.
How do
We
you
have some
blame
biracial commercials we need to tell. Look at that. There's President Biden. We're back with the President of the United States. Just a process question. When you have sensitive documents and you need to flush down the toilet, do you do that? Is that done in your office toilet, or is that done in the bathroom, in the personal bathroom area?
I call Trump. I haven't. You know, he talks about, sensitive documents and like, I don't destroy anything, but one of the things that I spent more time with Xi Jinping than any other head of state, and I'd always be, when I traveled him 17,000 miles, spent 78 hours with him, they tell me, all told. And I'd have a consecutive interpreter, he'd have one. And the difference between when I would do that and others would do it, I always handed in all my notes.
You got to hand in your notes.
Hand in my notes.
We learned that in school,
That's
theoretically.
right.
Roe versus Wade. Boy, these things just keep coming at you, don't they? I mean, there's no, you have not had an easy, what a terrible job you have. I mean, I'm glad you're doing it, but boy, oh boy, does this seem like a bad gig.
I think if the court overrules Roe v. Wade and does what it's draft.
Well, we fear they will.
Well, if that occurs, I think we have to legislate it. We have to make sure we pass legislation making it a law that is the federal government says this is how it works.
In another situation where most of the country is on the same page, something like 64%
How did
of
I do
Americans
it?
do not want to see
Daniel
Roe v. Wade
Anderson,
overturned.
great question. I quit smoking
There used to be
cigarettes. Every time I wanted to smoke a cigarette, I did a bong rip.
But all kidding aside.
Is that from the National Lampoon Vacation movie?
But Connecticut versus Griswold said that you could not use contraception in the privacy of your own bedroom because in the Constitution there was no right to privacy.
I
And
needed
so they
like
could
a
outlaw
quarter
it. If you
pound
used
of
contraception, it was
cannabis
against
to
the law.
do it.
You couldn't purchase contraception. And there's a
So I
whole
bought
range
a
of things that are at
quarter
stake here
pound of
when we talk
cannabis.
about eliminating Roe v. Wade and all the
Same-sex marriage.
I mean, it's just ridiculous in my view. And I don't think the country will stand for it. But I think what we're going to have to do. There's some executive orders I could employ. We believe we're looking at that right now. But I want to keep employing. And look, it's clear that if in fact the decision comes down the way it does and these states impose the limitations they're talking about, it's going to cause a mini revolution. They're going to vote a lot of these folks out of office. We got to keep it focused on if they overrule Roe v. Wade in the state, California won't do it, but other states say that you cannot do the following. That's always a law. You can't cross the border. You can't all the things that some states have. And you got to make sure that you vote. You got to vote. Let people know exactly what the devil you think and change it.
Yeah, we have to vote for people who are fighting for this country and not just reacting to these horrible things, because we should have done something about gun violence a long time ago. The climate is something we could all look back at these days and go, oh my God.
But we have made some progress there. There's
Some.
560,000, but it's moving. It's moving. My mother used to say everything bad, something good will come if you look hard enough for it. So the reduction on the use of oil also increases the need to find alternatives.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm going over to the G7, the 7 largest economies in the world, and meeting in Germany in a couple weeks.
Well, we're looking hard for the good things, and we're glad you're looking hard for the good things too.
We can do this. This is the United States of America. We can do
I
it.
hope you're right. President Biden, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. We'll be back with Jack Johnson. I am Jimmy Kimmel. I hope you enjoyed that video. Hit subscribe, and all your dreams will come true.
It was his job to be the cheerleader of that. So he made sense for 23 minutes. I didn't see the part that Jimmy was making fun of. Bye, Lucia. Thank you. Take care. Huh. Huh. I'm Adidas. How's it going, whore dog? I'm trying to quit cigarettes. I'm down to 5 cigarettes a day. Helps it's hot as fuck outside with no shade. I usually have after toke smoke cigarette afterwards. I know, that's what I used to do too. Instead of that, smoke cannabis again. If you feel like that, Smoke some more. That's how I did it. Oh, I thought she was leaving. No. What was I thinking? She's not leaving. Lusta! I think she's still here. I had my time wrong. Shouldn't leave till later. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed about the side yard over there with all the weeds I need to pull. But I took all these pictures, man, of what I did. There are these plants. That would kind of make it worth it for me to just show you the work I did. I've got a nice block here for the sun, so I should be able to show you Here's a photograph right here of my my studio where I'm sitting right now. It's pretty funny. Let's do this. Do this. Do this. Let me grab this camera right here. Sitting on this here tripod here. Okay, this is what we're doing. Perfect. Perfecto. Alright, so here. We'll see how this works. I'm gonna show you some stuff. I'm gonna show you some things. Okay, so check it out, yo. There's still a lot of reflection. Where's that coming from, man? Here. Check that out, bro. That's a studio. That's a studio, bro. I'm in that corner. That's where I'm sitting right now, behind all those pillows. I got those things all stacked up above me. It looks like there's going to be an avalanche. I got to fix it a little bit, but that's what I'm sitting in right now. What do you guys think? What do you think of that picture? That's the studio, bro. So, this is what the plants look like after I cleaned out the bed, man, and made everything look nice. It's the brightness is a little bright. Hold on. Okay. Check this out. You gotta see these plants, man. Isn't that nice? I cleaned out that whole bed area. It was all full of weeds. I cleaned the plants. I'll show you what those plants look like before I clean them. Oops. Why isn't it working, dude? I swear, man. I don't understand what's going on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, here's another picture. Another angle. Okay, that's just weird. Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. Got all that area cleaned out. Didn't even really realize those plants were there. They're covered with weeds. Like that. See that? Covered with pine needles and leaves on top of them and all kinds of shit. Right? I cleaned all that shit out. Look. Look at the difference. You like that? There's like flowers up in there and shit. I cleaned all them bitches out, man. My mom doesn't know what I did. She doesn't know I did that today. I'm gonna show her. She's gonna love it. I think I'll go show her right now. There's a bunch more. I got a bunch more pictures in there. I got all kinds of shit to show you guys. But I'm gonna go. I love you guys. Take care. I love you guys. Mosh Pit, what's up? You're banned from YouTube. That sucks, man. Well, I'm glad you're here. Is that mother's tongue? I don't know. Hey, Daniel, that's a good question. I don't know. Hey, freaking Oracle. Hey, what's up, buddy? Did you tear it down before you left? Tear what down before you left? What? Dude, I'm in it right now. What are you talking about? Those bromeliads are pretty... Oh, they're called bromeliads. Alright, I'm gonna go show my mom what I do. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. So I just wanted to say to Jimmy, Kurt, and Jackson, you know, it would have been nice if you had included the fact that Joe Biden made some sense on a lot of stuff that night, and that, you know, he didn't just say it in the last 5 seconds of the thing, that he spoke for 23 minutes. He made sense the whole time, you know? So just keep it real, guys. That's all I'm saying. I tried it. You should too. Love you guys. I'll see you guys at the 7:10 turn or whenever. 7:10 or later. Love you guys. Bye now. I gotta go drink some water. I got the Muppet mouth. Bye, guys. Oh yeah, this is one of those shirts. This is one of those shirts from whatchamacallit. Classic. Something classic, true classic. This is what true classic shirt, guys. I'm not impressed. They're okay. Thank you, Houston. They're okay. It's one of the ones from those Funny Cute commercials that I love so much. But let me stand up and show it to you. It's okay. I mean, I need to lose weight for it to look better on me, personally. But, this is the true classic shirt, the funny ones. I'm acting like I'm doing shit. Getting stuff done. You should get an OxyClean shirt, do the voice. Yeah, it hurts my voice, though. Billy Mays here with OxyClean and the power of oxygen. Alright, I love you guys. Take care. Billy Mays.